So what's the main question we were trying to answer in this research? We start with the assertion that there is a human right to clean drinking water and sanitation. And so the question that we wanted to answer is, how can First Nations use legal frameworks, including Indigenous laws, treaties, constitutional law, Aboriginal law, and statutory law, to move Canadian governments to ensure that this right, the right to clean drinking water and sanitation, is well protected? What are our important findings? Well, after years of resistance, the Canadian government has recognized that there is indeed a human right to water, and the implications of this recognition are huge. For example, we know from the work of Catherine Starzyk and others that Canadians have a strong belief in the importance of fulfilling human rights. So this puts pressure on the government to provide clean drinking water and sanitation in First Nations communities. A second important finding is also that the Canadian government has the duty to do three things when it comes to the right to water. It has the duty to respect, it has the duty to protect, and the duty to fulfill the right. So those are important. So that should be remembered. The duty to respect, protect, and fulfill the right. Another thing that we discovered is Canadian governments also have a constitutional obligation to provide essential services of reasonable quality to all Canadians. And of course that includes Indigenous people. Clearly, the Canadian government is falling down on this constitutional duty. Another thing that we've learned from elders and others on our research team is that the lack of clean drinking water has devastating spiritual, health, economic, and social implications for First Nations people. So the assertion that all people in Canada, including First Nations people, have the right to water is both a powerful political claim, but it's also a claim that's capable of supporting a lawsuit to try to get the right fulfilled. So how can people use the research that we've done? Well, the first thing is, be aware that the right to water is supported by international law, treaty law, constitutional law, and statute law, and call governments into account for failure to meet their obligations under all of these legal regimes. The Canadian government is falling down on its duty, and we need to call them into account.